Thank you, Swati. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think the two of us are the last barrier to drinks and dinner and frolic. But if you have come thus far after listening to all the ministers and all the wise people that who have been giving you gyan since morning, and that I really mean it, I think, yeah, two of us are the last hurdle. And especially she, my job is just to moderate, especially she, on a very serious note, if a lady or if a man, if a person can, oh dekho chali gayi, abhi aayenge aapke paas. If a person can give mental strength to an Olympian, wouldn't you want to hear her out? In 2012 UK Olympics, she was giving mental strength to our Olympians. I think a big round of applause. Just this itself is so exciting.
And we got a berth in London Olympics 2012 too.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding. Absolutely. So, but before I invite her over, just a few minutes of gyan from my side. Not that you need it, but the topic, just to warm up the topic on which we are, the SDGs are behind me. There used to be MDGs, SDGs, 2010, 2020, 2040. We do understand that the world is, time is flying and people are nodding, but yet our resolve is always there. But one thing is very certain, that if any change has to be brought about, then it has to be through education. Whether it is the traffic problem of Thailand, or those income tax ads that we see on our Indian television, or indeed our general experience with kids. When the kid tells a father or a mother, don't do this, we tend to listen. Isn't that so? There are so many, not only nodding, I can see the yes, whatever little lip reading I can do. It is through education, not just the elementary, but also higher. And if, given that that is the scenario, I think it is, we know the problems, and I don't want to bore you with the problems that we know for decades, not years. The low teacher-student ratio, the infrastructure, the dropouts, even enrollment, which has now gone up considerably thanks to RTE, Right to Education, but also teacher training and many such things like that, starting from the Wardha Conference, 1937, Mahatma Gandhi, Zakir Hussain, then the Kothari Commission, 1964, India's first education policy, 68, second National Policy of Education, 86, revised in 92, and the current one that we are talking about. So I don't want to bore you with those details that we know, but certainly soon it's going to be a century since Zakir Hussain said in that Wardha conference, Gandhiji is appointed, the key words, integrating world of work with world of knowledge. Kaam ki duniya ko gyan ki duniya se jodna. And that time skilling had not come in, or there was no thought of skilling in 1937. But it's so nice that the Prime Minister Modi's Skill India initiative, Kaushal Bharat, Kushal Bharat, which has come, in which CII is also playing a lead role, which will involve many things in education, including the JICA, which will train bureaucrats from the HRD ministry and experts from school boards and primary school teachers in math and science, and India and Australia also having signed an MOU to boost partnership in this field, and so on and so forth. What better an institute or an organization than CII to have hosted or to have decided to host this 11th in the series. I think they are doing a great job, and we are looking forward to, I think it's been a great start today. But an organization which has roots in many sectors, including education, what better can it be than CII? And before I go into CII, I would also like to mention about NSDC, under the PPP partnership promoted by Ministry of Finance, which is also very much involved in this skill development, because India is, as we know, facing or in fact sitting on a demographic dividend. But of course, we need to be very careful that if we don't skill our folks, then this demographic dividend can turn into a demographic deficit. McKinsey's first level articles are beginning to come that the bulge, जब तोंद हो जाती है, So the bulge can actually be serious because 500 million people who are youth, and if we don't skill them, then there could be a problem. I would also like towards the end to highlight some of the important initiatives CII has undertaken, both at the school and higher education level. It has been actively working not only in this right to education that I was talking about, but also accreditation, upgradation of school and higher education. And as we know, CII also organized a national summit on quality in education last year in pursuant to its commitment towards enhancing the quality of education. So, without further ado, I think I have given enough, not that you needed it, so-called Gyan, as I said, but certainly I hope I have warmed up it. I warmed up the evening for Maryada Banerjee, Abha Maryada Banerjee, whom I don't want to read all those Asian and world level records that she has got. I like the Olympic spot that I mentioned, and I certainly can tell you that she is what we call a growth activist. And activism in ensuring that the mind grows and grows more. One of the leaders in the world in personal development. I think you want to hear from her, and I will certainly be opening up the session for Q&A after she speaks. And then we shall, as I said in the beginning, we'll go for drinks, dinner, and frolic. So with this, I would like to give the floor to, and a big round of applause to Abha Maryada Banerjee.